I'm Conor Bryan, Group Commercial Director with Kirby, and from our company perspective, it's great to be involved here in the west of Ireland, and with this initiative as well to bring it to a level 9. I'd have worked with Rory myself in the past there on some of the projects within Kirby Group, and I suppose that's where this all kind of kicked off from ourselves. And I just want to, I suppose, really give an introduction to Kirby and where we are and how we're kind of set up in the west of Ireland as a company and throughout Ireland, and I suppose our journey as a business. So it kind of kicks off with an introduction. There is just I suppose I'm in the company Kirby 21 years. A lot of our staff, our core staff internally, are with the business a long time. And it just there's a really good culture in the company, and I suppose I'd like to take you through Kirby as a business, set up in 1964, and I suppose we opened our first office in Dublin in 1990. We took our journey to the UK in 2008 on the back of some power station work with Siemens. In 2010, we had our first European project with Sanofi Aventis in France, working with PM Group. In 2012, we took on our first large-scale project in leak slip, which ran in at 46 million on the project itself and ran 700,000 man-hours. In 2014, we set up an office in Belgium, with the intention of growing in Northern Europe. And from there, we hit our peak of 150 as a turnover and hit 1 million man-hours accident-free for the first time in 2015. And in 2018, we expanded further into the Nordics, and we carried out some work, some DC work in Sweden. We partnered with some other Irish companies on the way in, and I suppose in 2019, we've taken on our first hyperscale data centre up in Grange Castle in Dublin, again partnered with an Irish GC, general contractor. And that's really opened the door for us as a business into Europe and into hyperscale work. So, as I said, we're 55 years in business. We're really all about investing in people. It's all about the culture within the business. We have management development programs. We have continuing professional development. We have graduate programs which kicked off primarily 3 to 4 years ago with the introduction of a new HR director who's really worked on graduate programs, graduate schemes for large-scale companies. We have apprenticeship programs, and we have a corporate social responsibility back into the communities that we work in. So we have, I suppose as a business, our key performance indicators, first and foremost, is that everybody comes to work safely and leaves and goes home safely. It's project delivery, quality of performance, work, and product there for our clients, and always a competitive price. Our target has been, for the last 2 years, was to, I suppose, hit the 200 million marker. We've passed that this year. We've 40% growth in our business this year, and we generally would target a 15% growth, and we don't like to kind of scale beyond that, but we had set up around our process and our structure that we had the capability to expand. We've over 800 direct people employed in the company. We've 1,500 people currently working on our books. 700 will be our supply chain, and that's really important. We've won investors in people as a company. First time we got gold accredited. Again, that is I suppose it's a confidential program that would have gone out to all of our employees, and they would have did confidentially commented back on the company, and we got a positive feedback, I suppose, from our employees internally. Last year we ran in just over 2.3 million man-hours, and we'd only 2 incidents, very low incident rate. Our TRIR, which is the measure of our accidents and incidents, is 0.68, which is low for the industry. So I just want to give a bit of a profile really around the company before we get into kind of digitalization there. Our capabilities are high voltage, medium voltage services. We have mechanical building services capability. Back on the west of Ireland, we bought out a company there in Galway. Ralph O'Malley's would have been in the Galway region for quite a number of years, and Ralph would have worked with the company when they were bought out back in 2003. We would have been in the western region, I suppose, back in 2000, having been involved up the road there in AbbVie in the plant up in Manor Hamilton Road. We have a process pipework capability. We generally focus around 10 to 12,000 square meters of pipe on various systems. Electrical building services, E&I would have been the core of our business going back in the day, and instrumentation services. And then the BIM modelling came into play around 2012 on the back of this large-scale project we took on in Leixlip, and we have a commissioning capability. Our market sectors are generally data centre, life sciences, industrial manufacturing, substation renewables, petrochemical and commercial. Commercial is generally up around the Leinster region, and we don't do, as a business, we don't do too much government type work. On our power T&D, which is substations, wind farms, it is the DNOs and TSOs, so it's the operators like Airgrid and ESB in Ireland, and in the UK, it's the distribution network operators such as Power Grid and National Grid and Scottish Power and SSE in the renewables side. So I suppose we have our transmission distribution side of the business. So we have a bit of diversification for expansion, and again, we have our BIM modelling and our commissioning services there. So that's kind of Kirby at high level. As I'd mentioned, we've 1,500 employees on our books this year. We've hit 2.5 million man hours, and 1.4 million of those are through our supply chain. So our supply chain is really important to our business, and we're trying to focus on 60% in supply chain and 40% self-delivery. We have 7 offices in our business. We have Ireland, UK, 3 offices in the UK. We have an office in London. We have an office in Glasgow and Warrington, in Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Norway, Netherlands and Belgium, and a small office in Germany there. So our business, I suppose, has grown from 2014. We've expanded at kind of a consistent rate, really. From 2014, it's been 120 to 150, and we've 3 years around 165, 167-ish, and that offered us the opportunity to get our process and get all our technology developments in the business and to get ready to move forward again. And this year, on the back of a hyperscale project up in Grange Castle, primarily we've jumped again up to, we'll hit around 235 million. Our approach in Europe, we will have probably, I suppose, over the next 12 months, we'll have 50% of our business is going to be in Ireland, and 50% of our business is going to be abroad in I suppose, in Europe and in the UK. So what's key for us for success in Europe is early engagement with our key clients, whether it's through the GCs or direct to the client themselves. We're looking at early engagement to focus on coordination. From coordination then, we're looking at our plant and equipment and material sourcing. So we would have pre-qualified. We've been focused, it takes about 18 months to hit a large-scale project across Europe. So it takes quite a bit of energy and focus from our business units and our teams to get things working well for the business. So we have vendors and we have a supply chain in Europe. It's about early planning of project support, engagement with local subcontractors, tax advisors, trade unions, and so on and so forth. Our project management team, we try to deploy a certain amount of that team from the core business to make sure that we follow the process of the business, and we hire locally as well. Our trade labour split is 50-50 in Europe, and it's probably 60-40 in general across the business. As I said, we have a mechanical HVAC, process pipework, and electrical E&I capability. And I touched on our transmission distribution. So again, we're looking at turnkey solutions there around the distribution network operators and transmission operators, renewables, large demand users. And we have a capacity up to 400 kV. We've done AIS and GIS substations, so it's all HVMV transmission distribution networks. And our commissioning, we have in-house commissioning teams and in-house engineering teams, which offers us a lot of value there for our clients and helps get this early contractor involvement going in the first place. So I suppose today really is about technology and it's about advancement and what's helped us to progress as a business. And I'm going to focus there on digital construction, touch on BIM capabilities, and Park is going to go into BIM a bit more on his side. I'm going to focus on off-site fabrication and how that's worked for us as a business in practice. There's always learning, so it's we've had some key learnings from our large-scale projects, and we're moving on quite well as a business. So we're going to look at integrated project delivery, in-house 3D modelling, detailed coordination, prefabrication, modularisation, how we've applied technology, and again, improved EHS and shared value back to everybody concerned, all partners on the projects. So the first thing is really to understand the early contractor involvement is to understand what constructability and design issues can happen on our project at a pre-construction phase. It's to resolve the issues early so that you don't carry it to construction, because what you don't want is a situation where there's multiple rework on your projects. What's happening in the current environment is it's late design and incomplete design, and contractors have to be a lot more flexible than would have been in the past. We're still stuck to the same schedules, so we need to look at how are we going to deliver, and we're looking at off-site fabrication to speed up that delivery and avoid the congestion on the sites. We need a detailed coordination, complete a pre-construction phase. That's a full integrated solution for everyone involved, and we do need to understand what the employer's requirements are day one so that we can get that collaborative approach. So the more involvement we can get from all the key team members and the support we can offer to a project is where we add most value. It's all about team collaboration. There's no one point of source here, or one point of truth. So it's engineering, prefabrication, construction teams. It's about redlining, detailed coordination, and pre-construction. So early collaboration with project teams and the design teams. Pre-construction collaboration between Kirby's team, the FM and the BIM team. We can give visual representations once we can take into the BIM model. Sometimes we don't own the model. We have a preference to own the model because we have more confidence in the service that we're providing. And sometimes it's quicker to take a model from scratch yourself and bring it all the way through to full LOD 500 and an as-built product. So our constructability and design issues can get resolved early. Our BIM teams, from 2012, we had the opportunity on our large-scale project. We had 35 modelers. Rory and the guys asked there just over a quick bit of lunch how many modelers worked on that large-scale project in Leixlip. There were 200 modelers working inside in a room from multiple contractors at the time. We had 35 modelers. We were learning. We were getting more efficient as we went along, and we can probably, the churn rate now is it would take us a third of the time that it would have taken initially, so that there are the learning curves and you get more efficient over time and you get to produce a better quality product. We use Revit, Plant 3D and CADWorks there to model all our services, produce our isometrics and 2D drawings out of a model, so you can look at clash resolution there through the model. We have an ability to detail all the services, as I said, up to LOD 500. I'll touch on the LODs briefly in a minute. We can produce all our fabrication installation drawings from the model, so we can get a dump out of the model. Once we can put all the services in there, we can get a dump out of a model and we can send it off for prefabrication, have confidence that we'll be able to build to the tolerance levels allowed on the project. I suppose in Leixlip, the tolerance level on that project would have been up to 70 mil, so you would have anything within that, you're clashing with other trade services. We've more surety when a model is coordinated in-house, and again, service measurements can be exported from the model. So you can take a dump from a QS point of view. Being a QS myself, you can take a model dump of all the primary services, or sometimes the secondary services if they're on the model, and you can get your measurement and you can cost load quickly, and you can put it back through your schedules and track progress and track efficiency. The LOD 1 to 500, I suppose, are you involved at a concept stage? Is it approximate measurements? Is it precise measurements that you're producing? Are you going to build your model to a fabrication stage so that you can produce drawings, 2D drawings, and fabricate to those drawings and have confidence in the drawings? Or are you bringing it to LOD 500, so you're taking it to full as-built and have total confidence in the product you're delivering? All design information that we model is to a constructible standard. It reduces site time by using a coordinated installed model. And it's all about reducing time on site. So we would have looked, we'd have looked at our project there in Grange Castle, which had north of 200,000 hours on the project. We wanted to achieve a minimum of 25% of those hours taken off-site. So what we've done is we ended up off-site fabricating all the LV switch rooms. There's 24 of them in total, and they were produced with a partner up in Donegal. And we basically came in sections of 4 into 3 co-locations in each of the data centres, and we 2 data centres that we were working in. So they got bolted up together with all the services installed off-site. They can be tested off-site, and all the quality inspections and everything can be done inside in the fabrication workshops. So it avoids the congestion on the site. That's the key piece. It reduces the management requirements on the site. And it just becomes much more efficient for the project. So it's really about getting more surety. So you end up producing these 2D drawings, which are there for fabrication. Our fabrication approach, as I said, it reduces on-site construction duration, reduces the management costs and the risk to the project. It's a higher quality of final product. It's achieved in a factory environment. It saves costs. I suppose trades guys on site versus the factory workers. There is a difference in cost there as well. So the client would see the benefit of more competitive price, and we would obviously be looking for savings ourselves when we go in. We go in with a tight price. All contractors need to make a margin as well. So depending, again, it's about lean manufacturing and cost savings and when you take in transportation, sometimes off-site fabrication may not be cheaper, but it saves time, and the time to the project might be the most important thing. It saves the client costs in the long run, and it reduces on-site commissioning during testing phase. So the key to the prefabrication, modularization, and the digital piece is that it's early engagement, early collaboration between the teams. We get constructability and design issues uncovered and resolved at the outset at an early stage. We can give it through visual representations we can take through the model once we have all the primary services and the primary routes on the model. We can have all the services. We can, I suppose, just the pre-construction collaboration piece is really important, because who owns the integrated model and how much surety have we with the quality of the information in the model? Detailed coordination is done through the BIM teams, through workflow, and it's about taking the design information to a constructible standard. It offers the opportunity to apply value engineered solutions there to lean up the costs and the install, and it reduces man hours through coordination and man hours by prefabricating off-site. We would have, I suppose, we carried out, we had a big learning back in 2012 with the point cloud scanners. We did a project in 2012. We were 60% through the project, and we were building a model, and we were looking to resolve clashes through the model, but we were still finding ourselves and the multiple trades on site were incurring multiple clashes on the site, and it was trying to figure out why these clashes were there and why it was costing the client a lot of time, a lot of money. It's costing everybody time and money. It was only going to lead to disputes. So we introduced a point cloud scanner. So we scanned the room, mapped it back into the model. There were multiple thousands, 40, 50,000 clashes that appeared on the model, and these clashes could be resolved through the model before, and it just brought much greater efficiency in the field. So a little bit of time resolving the clashes in the model saved a lot of time in the field and the project delivery. Real-time cloud access, I suppose this is where the storage of information and the information that's available. Snagging, digital remote redlining, and cloud-based fabrication. So we I suppose in that project as well, we were the first contractor to introduce tablets into the field. So we redlined field changes and got them mapped up to our servers when the trades guys when they were in the field and when we were mapping in the field, and we got a quicker turn rate on our fabrication installation drawings, so we had our as-built information much quicker for the client. So again, we're talking about prefabrication modularization. It's fully constructible 3D model, producing the fab drawings in the fab shops. We can carry out our quality audits in the fab shops. It's laser coordination in the field, which are these point cloud scanners, and it's really about taking the risk off the site so that we can have a safer working environment. A few examples, I suppose, for the company of off-site modularization there. These are the switch rooms that were prefabricated and dropped into position, 24 of them for the company, fully containerized. Another example are risers that it's prefabricated off-site ventilation risers for a bank project in Dublin. So the risers were built off-site, dropped into the field, and the install time was much quicker, and we could get the services into building, and there was much more efficiency. Full off-site testing, so it's much more efficient. The next one, we have prefabrication of horizontal and vertical LV distribution systems. So it's cable containment, pipe racks. So we have shared services that we would have put through our model, and we would develop our off-site fabrication, and it's worked and it creates efficiencies for our business. A pipework solution where we have multiple pump sets on a transportation frame, so we could bring our pipe headers and our connections, our valves were installed off-site, our testing is done off-site, our NDT, non-destructive testing, done off-site, and our controls are there. So all you're doing is you're dropping these skids and pods into position, and you're connecting up. Much greater efficiency for the project. So prefabrication and modularization, it's having the ISOs generated directly from a clash-free federated model, bringing the drawings to the fab shop, linking through the Vault and the software platforms, installing complete on-site drawings and set-out points. So we have robotic stations that we bring into the field, and they just pick up data points, and we install to those points. All prefabrication is tagged and delivered just in time. So while we would have our switch rooms or our pipe racks or our risers off-site, they're just brought in at the right time. They can be stored in an off-site fabrication facility. So there is room to work all the other services around the buildings. And again, we can get full quantities derived from our projects. So we can get more surety around the cost control early. We can get, as I said, a model dump on the measurements. And then we can pick up changes. We can bring our 2D drawings into the field to pick up our field changes and our field measurement changes. It doesn't take away from the fact you still have to measure your change on site. And BIM 360 count fire is automated takeoff software. It's generally our estimating team use this. So what you do is you take first of a kind of all the symbols, and you would measure those symbols, and the system itself then would pick up multiples of the same symbols, and it's reasonably good. It probably brings it to 85% and has to be checked afterwards. So we're looking at kind of the off-site solution. I have a little video here now, and I'm hoping it works. This is a video of our modeled our modeled LV switch room. So it's just to give an indication of what can be done. It's more a visual. Just to see, so we have 24 of these were dropped into position. So I'll leave it there for you to have a look at it in a minute. So we have all the LV switch gear. We have the frames. We have the buzz bar feeds, the power feeds coming into the panel, which are connected on site. We've 4 of these bolted together, so the buzz bar connections join the next switch room, and they join onto the power in the next switch room. The BIM model gives you the opportunity to go in and look at coordinates within the switch room, so you can navigate around the model. You can look for clashes. You can see the detail that's there to identify your clashes. And then we just we transport and drop into position on site. Next slide. For the business, I suppose the key to move forward for Kirby is really applying technology and trying to create greater efficiencies. It's to partner with other people who can offer, I suppose, and introduce more technology and also provide a supply chain. These are, I suppose, we spoke about mobile technology, robotic total stations, centralized data information, and 3D laser scanning. So the point cloud scanning and robotics is, we can take an existing building or an area, can be scanned, as I mentioned, only takes 2 minutes for a point cloud scanner to work around the room, verify it back into the model, more surety around offsite fabrication, and modelling time reduction overall. Our modelers, it reduces the time for our modelers, so created an efficiency. Overall, I suppose what offsite fabrication offers our business, it's design for safety, it's offsite planning, it's greater visualization on our projects. We can, I suppose, from our business, we're looking at technology to carry out our online inductions, to centralize all our documents and our data, and have live access to information irrespective of your location. Safety control, it's digital checklists, mobile technology, and live reporting. So we can, I suppose, whether it's EHS reporting, quality QA, QC reporting, commercial reporting, progress reporting, earned value management reporting, it's all available there to the business. Prefabrication, as I mentioned, reduces people's time on site, creates a safer working environment, and it reduces the site tooling, the need for site tooling. So overall, what does offsite fabrication give you? Reduced site personnel, less waste, customer alignment, increased productivity, increased safety, improved quality, and for a client, really improved schedule. As I mentioned there, it is we're dealing with incomplete design. A lot of our work becomes remeasurable work. We take on jobs based on agreed schedules of rates, and we are looking at cost loading those schedules of rates to give cost surety to our clients. From a business point of view, I just want to touch a small bit on health and safety, lean construction, a little bit around HR and CSR. So from a safety point of view, 4 times in the last 6 years, we've achieved 1 million man hours without lost time incidents, without any lost time incidents occurring. We'd 1 reportable in 2.3 million man hours in 2018. We have 2 reportables in 2.5 million man hours in 2019. We continually carry out behavioural safety workshops. It's all about a climate for improvement. It's continual improvement within the business. Again, we're ISO and OSAS certified. From a people side of it and from a well-being side of it, it's about the culture, it's about the people within the business, what we want in the company. When we invest in people and we expect people, or we hope for people to stay in the business long term, we're all kind of proud of our own companies that we've worked with for a long time, and we can see the development with our own companies. We want younger people to be future managers in our business, so it's incumbent to focus on succession planning and people's health and well-being. So we do promote, we know there's a strain and there's a pressure when you're looking at compressed timelines, so we are focused on people's well-being, and I suppose there's ongoing health checks available to our people. EHS leadership, we're looking at targeted training and coaching and leadership skills. It's positive and proactive reinforced approach. We're looking at a safe behavioural culture. So anybody that looks and sees unsafe practice, it's anybody that sees it is responsible. You shouldn't go onto the side. If you see something unsafe, it should be flagged. It's not about catching the person out, it's just about safe behaviour. Environmental and sustainable management. We're looking at improving our performance around energy management and waste management on a continued basis. Our energy consumption, you can see from 2016, 2017, 2018, it's brought from indirect to direct. There's been a massive saving. We've had targets over the year to achieve 90% recyclable waste. We've hit 98% in 2018, and we're looking for that to continue. From a quality assurance point of view, we're looking at having good QC control from an operations point of view, QC control from a commercial point of view. And we plan out, and it's all about planning and implementation and ensuring we follow through in our quality assurance, and we give the quality of our product we deliver to our client will mean we get repeat business. In the west of Ireland, out of our 2.3 million man hours and of our 235 million we're going to turn over, 60 million is going to be our turnover in the west of Ireland. It's some achievement for the business. We've grown from 25 million to 60 million over the last 3 years. It'll only continue while the market is there. Our core market, I suppose, in Ireland has been in around 120 million on a continued basis. Even as the business expanded, it really expanded across Europe. So we're looking to try achieve that 120 million on a continued basis from our business point of view. So it's the west of Ireland for us is really key. We look from a quality point of view, we look at supply chain auditing. We're looking to bring along our supply chain that they're working to the same best practice we're working to. And it's, as I said, it's about developing our supply chain in a partnership approach. We've quality training. We try to embed the foundations that are in the company to I suppose, reinforce Kirby's management systems across our supply chain. And it's about lean learnings there and improving around technology and methodology, and it's about adding and sharing value. So I suppose we have a number of lean approaches. I'm not going to get into the detail too much on this, but it's about mobile technology. I mentioned field tablets, about designing in the field, early contractor involvement, site induction training. It's about efficiencies, trade recognition. So our trades, we would look for innovative ideas. We'd like to see how our competitors are working so that we can learn and improve from our competitors. And anybody that brings these innovative ideas, and if they're enforced or brought into the business, even at any level, whoever comes up with the suggestion gets rewarded. Multiple forms of lean and improvements within the business. We have software. We use SnagR as a means and method of our snagging software, so we can snag live in the field, and as we do, we can photograph the snags that are live. They go back into a centralized database, and the snags get closed out quicker and leaner as the systems are being handed over. We use fishbone diagrams. It's about productivity and progress reporting, quality benchmarking, first of a kind, so that all the trades, we've first of a kind for the trades so that we can get continuity and quality handed over to our client. 3D modelling, we've touched on process flow charts. We've remodeled best practice within our business across all the functions so that we've leaned up, so no two functions are kind of touching on the same task as much as possible just to keep the thing efficient. We've mapped, as I said, best practice, and all of our project managers, quantity surveyors, engineers, planners, have all gone through the Kirby Way Module 1, and we're looking at continued training and development of our people. There's clear roles and responsibilities by function and at project level, and we all really feed back in at business level, at group level, at board level. We have an overall strategy map where we define our strategy and our targets for the year, and all the group and functions feed back into that strategy map, so there's full alignment back into the business. 2020, a focus for our company is to bring in a new enterprise resource planning system, so all our core data is kept in one location, and we can feed and we can get data analytics, and we can see how we can improve through that technology from 2020 and beyond. So we have continued targets for our business. Investors in people has really been important to us. Again, I mentioned earlier on, we got gold accreditation in investors and people there. Through our high performance culture, our people build the jobs. It's all about operations. If we don't deliver jobs successfully, disputes, everything else fall on the back of that, and we won't get repeat business and won't have repeat clients. Our corporate social responsibility, it's all about giving back to the communities we've worked in. We've taken part here locally in an ABV charity cycle this year. We've also taken part in a cycle from Grange Castle down to our office in Galway, which was 200 kilometres, and we've taken part recently, 30 of us took part in Sea to Summit for Irish Cancer Society and Irish Kidney Foundation. So it's really, as I said, it's about giving back to the community, and I suppose that's Kirby in a nutshell and what we can offer. And I suppose we're here today because we're looking for new people to come into our business, new graduates, new apprentices, people who have come through the trades, I suppose people who are going through the level 9 course and who go through level 7 courses there as well. Because Kirby have a lot to offer, and I know so does everybody else out there, you know. So thanks very much.